Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're digging into a really interesting educational story. It's about Rick, who went from Hongwen International School to eventually UPenn for a master's.
Yeah, University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And we're drawing mainly from his own account, right? From Hongwen to Penn, Rick's journey.
Exactly. It gives us a first-hand look. So our mission today is to really unpack what shaped him academically, personally.
And pull out those insights, those kind of aha moments that might resonate with you, the listener. Things you can maybe apply.
Right. So let's start where he started. Hongwen International School. What was his mindset going in?
Well, he mentions feeling understandably nervous, but also he had this strong belief right from the start in just, well, hard work.
Interesting. That initial mindset often does set the tone, doesn't it?
It really does. And Hongwen seems like it was the kind of place to really build on that work ethic.
He talks about some serious academic rigor, high standards.
Oh, yeah. Things like, analyzing Shakespearean irony, tackling these multi-step calculus integrals. It sounds intense.
Definitely push them.
But it wasn't just about the difficulty, was it? He learned disciplined study habits.
And maybe even more critically, he learned it was okay to speak up, to ask questions when he was lost.
That's huge. That confidence to say, I don't get it yet, is so fundamental to actually learning, not just, getting by, something we can all remember.
Absolutely. But Hongwen wasn't only about the tough academics, it seems. There was this flexibility.
Right. A really vibrant mix of clubs, extracurriculars.
And this student-driven timetable thing he mentions, choosing courses aligned with future plans. That sounds quite progressive for high school.
It does. And you have to think that gave him a real sense of ownership over his education.
Yeah. Agency. Picking his path.
Exactly. He could go deep into subjects he liked, but still get exposure to other things.
Yeah.
It's a smart way to foster engagement, I think.
And he clearly ran with it, took a whole load of AP courses.
Calculus, comp sci, physics, stats, chemistry. The list goes on.
So he was building that strong quantitative base early on.
Definitely. But like you said, not just academics. Basketball seems to have been a really big deal for him, too.
He really emphasizes that. What lessons did he pull from the court?
Teamwork, obviously. Strategy. But also handling emotions, the disappointment of a tight loss.
Learning grace in defeat, basically.
Mm-hmm. And also the flip side. Humility, when they had a hard-fought win.
Those are things you just don't get from a textbook, are they?
Not at all. Character building, pure and simple. Resilience, mental toughness.
Skills that transfer anywhere. So after Hongwen, he gets into several U.S. universities, but he chooses Toronto, University of Toronto.
Yeah, he mentions the choice surprised some people.
Which kind of makes you think, right, what looks like an odd choice to others might be exactly what someone needs for their own growth.
Precisely. And Toronto, being such a global city, this melting pot, as he calls it, that seems to really spark something in him. Curiosity.
What did that spark lead to? What did he dive into there?
Well, AI and robotics were big. He got heavily involved in the Artificial Intelligence Club.
Talked about code sprints. Sounds intense.
Yeah, focused coding sessions.
Yeah.
And ethical debates about AI, too, which is crucial.
And the Robotics Association was key as well.
Seems like a huge part of his experience. You can almost feel his excitement when he describes seeing a robot he helped design actually, work.
That hands-on success must be incredibly validating, turning theory into something real.
It's everything and feels like engineering. But his learning wasn't just confined to campus, right?
No, he mentions research collaborations, traveling to conferences.
New York, California. Meeting scholars whose papers he'd actually studied. Imagine that.
Yeah, interacting directly with the people pushing the field forward, that's invaluable.
It really speaks to proactively seeking out those opportunities.
And somehow, amidst all this, he finished a demanding computer engineering major, plus minors in both AI and robotics, in under 4 years.
Incredible focus. Real drive.
How did he manage that pace?
He actually points back to Hongwen. The persistence learned there through the tough academics, yes, but also through basketball, pushing through challenges.
Ah, so those foundational skills really did carry through, compounding over time.
Exactly. Which sets the stage nicely for the next step. UPenn.
University of Pennsylvania. For his master's in electrical engineering and computer science, Philadelphia.
He describes it as stepping onto the tech frontier, joining this elite research ecosystem. You sense a real desire to make a deeper impact.
There's a definite ambition there.
And underlying it all is this idea, passion and persistence. He seems driven by work that genuinely excites him, enough to push through the tough parts.
He even brings up Benjamin Franklin, right? Energy and persistence conquer all things.
Yeah, quite fitting given he's now in Philly,
Mm-hmm.
but it clearly resonates with his own journey.
You can see it reflected the late nights, studying, debugging code, traveling for research. It all comes back to that core drive.
And he sums up his path so well.
How does he frame it?
He says Hong Nguyen taught him how to learn. Toronto showed him where that learning could take him.
And UPenn, Philadelphia.
That's showing him how far that trajectory can actually go. It's a neat summary.
It really is. And notice how he keeps circling back to Hong Nguyen as the foundation.
That foundational piece seems critical to his perspective.
Okay, so reflecting on this whole journey, Hong Nguyen to UPenn, what are the big takeaways for us, but more importantly for you listening?
Several things jump out. First, embracing challenges is key.
Yeah.
He didn't shy away from rigor.
Built resilience that way. Critical thinking, too.
Definitely. Second, curiosity. Letting a diverse environment like Toronto spark new interests and directions.
Stepping outside the comfort zone.
Exactly. And third, building strong foundations, not just book smarts, but those other skills like teamwork and mental toughness from sports.
Yeah, that interconnectedness really stands out. Skills from one area, like basketball discipline, clearly helped in his intense studies.
It's not siloed learning. It all feeds into the whole person.
And his story kind of validates taking a path that maybe isn't the obvious one, like choosing Toronto. It can be the perfect fit.
Absolutely. And it highlights the value of getting your hands dirty right. The clubs, the research, practical experience is irreplaceable.
Being part of a community that pushes you.
And underpinning it all, that thread of passion and persistence, finding what drives you and sticking with it.
It's a powerful combination.
Truly is.
So wrapping up this deep dive on Rick's journey, it's a compelling story. Strong foundations, embracing new challenges, consistent effort.
Passion and persistence tying it all together.
It really makes you think.
And that leads to our final thought for you, the listener. Reflect on your own path for a moment. What are your Hong Nguyen moments? Those foundational experiences, positive or negative, that really shaped how you learn and approach challenges.
And maybe more importantly, how can you actively cultivate your own energy and persistence, as Franklin put it, to tackle whatever you're facing and reach for your own goals?
What doors might open if you lean into that curiosity? Maybe step just a little bit outside your comfort zone today. Something to ponder.